Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be giving you a detailed walkthrough of how to build a data cleaning agent using N8N. Now, by the end of this tutorial, you would learn how to build with N8N, how to integrate external applications like Google Mail, Google Sheets, which I'm using in this tutorial, and you also learn how to download your workflow by the time you are done, so you can use it whether you want to use it locally or anywhere else. And also by the end of this tutorial, you also learn how to set your workflow in production so you can reuse it whenever you want and it will be running automatically. You won't have to manually click on it again. Before we begin, there are some resources that you would need to get so you can follow through with this tutorial. The first resource that you would need would be the data set that we'll be using along in this tutorial. So I've linked it in my GitHub repo. I'll drop the link to the GitHub repo. Unless you have a messy data set elsewhere that you would love to use, you can use it as well. But I've linked the GitHub repo that contains list of some messy data sets that I got from somewhere. I got it from I found it from a repo online. And again, the other resource that we need to do is you need to sign up on N8N. If you haven't signed up on N8N, just go right away to N8N, sign up and register. And the last resource that we need to get is the system prompt that we'll be using to train Google Gemini as a data cleaning agent. You also need to get that, and it's also in the same GitHub repo. And when you have these three resources ready, then you can fully join in this tutorial. Thank you. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing here is getting set with Tally Forms. So what you have to do is you head over to the Tally Forms and you register. When you sign up and register, you can then start creating a form. For this tutorial, I created this simple form called upload messy data. So all it does is you need to enter your email address and you need to set up the file upload button. So you can just set that up. These are some of the details that it has already accepted. So to create a new workflow, you can come over to this place and click on create new workflow, or you can click on this icon and click on create new workflow. So whichever one you go with, let's say create new workflow, you choose create it in a personal project, and that will bring you to the first node that you'll be selecting the first node that you'll be working on. For now, I want to give it a name first. So I'll name it data cleaner agent. I already have a data cleaner agent. I'll just say data cleaning agent. And when you have it saved, you can now start adding the nodes and connecting your Tally Forms to it. So before we begin, the next thing we need to set up is the API connections. So we've already talked about the Tally Forms and how you can create it, and just a little frame here that you need to set up to enter email address and upload the messy data. After that, the next thing you need to do is to set up API, because we're going to be sending emails to via Gmail and via the Gmail module and setting up Google Sheets. So for that, you need to set up your email. Just go to cloud.console.google.com, create a project. I have already created one here. What I have here is the crypto UI project. You can create one, or if you already have an existing project there, you use it. When you go to this place, you go to this is where you should go. I'm already here. I was supposed to show you guys this. So when you click on this button, you go to the API and services and go to enable APIs and services. No, you go to library. There's the library you go to. When you get to the library, under the Google Workspace, you see email, Google Drive, all these emails there. You need to enable these emails so that you can be able to work with it. If not, Google will slap you with an error. What's that? Let me find. Let's start with Gmail. So when Gmail opens, you click enable. It's already enabled. You would see the enable API. You enable it. You enable the Google Sheet API, and that's not all. You also head to when you come to the same place, you see credentials. You go to the credentials. When you head to the credentials, you would see the options to create an API key. You would have to create your API. I already created some credentials here that I've been working with. So you'd have to click on create credentials and create an API key. After you create an API key, you head to look at this, just click on it, and you would have to follow the instructions and create your API key. After you create your API key, you head to the OAuth consent screen. OAuth consent screen. I hope I pronounced that well. When you head to the page, you would now have to let's see. Is it really here? Yeah, it's this place. You head to audience. When you get to audience, I think this is the place where you have to add your email. You need to add your email here. You add yourself as the user. You add your email here as a user. Important. If not, Google will slap you with an error. And you create clients here. You can see the options to create clients. You create clients. You choose web application here. You're building a web application. You can give it a name here. This is just, you have to give it a name. You can even use what they have given you here. You can say N8N cleaning agent. And then you add your browser here. The workflow I'm using here is the N8N cloud. So I would just come over here and I would copy. And when I copy, I will head over to that page and I will paste. So when you add it there, that should work. Hopefully that should work. You click on create. I'm not going to create it though because I've already, like I said, I've already done that. So when it creates for you, you store your client ID, you copy it. You can even download. There's a JSON format that you can download. You download it. You download the local, as you can download any of them, and after that you head over. Do you need to do anything here? You add your scopes. Yes, you need to add your scopes. Add your email scopes and the other sensitive scopes. You add this. That's it. So when you add all those scopes, you are done with the API integration for Gmail. So with that, you can get set for integrating and connecting your Gmail to N8N. To connect Google Gemini, you head over to Google AI Studio. That's ai.google.com. When you head over there, you have to create your account. But I think if you even have an existing account there, with your Gmail, so you can even use it. For me, what I did was when I got here, I imported my project. There was this option to import projects. So before, this AI studio of a thing is a new concept by Google. Before there was this other platform they used if you wanted to create your project. So they gave us the option to import. So yes, so you can either create a new project or you import your project. If you've worked with Google Gemini before, just click on import project so that API key you created then could come in. You don't want to be creating API keys here and there because you're using free plan unless you're using a paid plan, of course. So you can click on create a new project if you've not worked with Gemini before, and you would have to now create your API key. When you create your API project, you give it a name and get your API key. Here, the first thing we're going to create is the webhook node. So you click on the open nodes, enter search for webhook, select the webhook option, and then you see pre-generated options for you there. We can use this part if we want, or we can change it to data cleaning agent, data agent or data cleaning agent. Let's say data cleaning, and change this to post. We are going to be retrieving details from our tally forms, right? So we need to change this to post. When you change it to post, you can click to copy the URL. When you click to copy the URL, so when you copy that URL, you come to the tally forms you created and head to the integration sections. You would see discover integrations. You click on connect webhooks. When you click on connect webhook, it will open, and let's do this. You enter the URL you copied and click on connect. I already connected, so I won't be clicking on connect, but you should when you because when you do that, automatically the webhook will be connected for you. And that is it. It will be showing green, which means that it's active. So you copy the tally forms link. This is the link. You copy it. Just quietly move to a new tab and you paste it. When you paste it, you can now fill in your data. You fill in your data. You enter your email address. When you enter that email address, you upload message data from the repo we are using. I mentioned that repo earlier. You go there, you get those documents. So I already cloned it to my local device. So when we open it, yeah, messy data set. So when we open it, you can now, you can select the one you want here. For me, I'll be working with messy HR data. So it will upload, and when it uploads, you click on. Oh no, don't click on submit yet. Ha ha ha! Don't click on submit yet, please. You need to execute the workflow. So you head over to this place and you click on listen for test events since we are using the test URL before clicking on submit. So when you head back to this environment, you click on submit, and when it submits, you go back to your workflow. When you get to this environment, you see that from the output, you can find the data from teleforms, all of the data. The next thing you have to do is you need to work on this data. When you go to the output, you can see we have fields and fields that are like we won't be able to use it to feed. We can't feed this to Gemini, right? So you need to add the set node to start processing it. So you type set, and then you see the edit fields, also called the set node. We will use manual mapping. So you click on add field. When you click on add field, you select the so here you set the email, set your email, give your email, you copy or you drag and drop this here. You add another field. The field you'll be adding would be for the messy data. You can just use the name messy. You do the same thing here as well. drag it. You execute the field, and that's it. We have the email and we have the messy data here. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Let me see. I think it's because of the dots that I put there. Let's see. Okay, let me underscore it. So when you click on execute, oh, messy underscore data underscore CSV there now. Okay. So you add the HTTP request node. Why are we adding the HTTP request node? Because what we have from Tally Forms is just the URL. We need to get the file, so we will use the HTTP request node to get it. You just add this link. Presently it's just a link, so you have to add it as a link, the link that you got from Tally Forms. You select the response. We want the response to be in a file format, so you scroll down, response format, indicate it explicitly that it should be in file, and you can leave every other thing as it is, and you execute. And that's it. You already have a binary data here. You have a binary data here, as you can see. That's it. We'll head over to add the next node. Now, ensure you always click on save when you're working with your workflow. If you have any interruption, you can, and maybe your system goes off or something, you can always come back to do that. So I've zoomed in. Was that what I did? Okay, I zoomed out. So I've zoomed out. The next that you have to add is you have to add the extract from file. So this is a data set that we are trying to clean. So when you try to feed it as a CSV to a normal extracting file, you will get an error from N8N because of the UTF configurations, the configuration errors, and all the things that make the data sets unclean. So we don't want any of all those errors. So we want to be able to get it as a text file and extract it so we can feed it to Google Gemini. And then Google Gemini will now have to clean it on its own. So that's what we are trying to do here. Let's go to extract from file. When you head to extract from file, you select, let's scroll down. Move file to base 64 string. And this is how it's going to be. You move file to base 64 string, then you click on execute. Now you've created a base 64 string. You have to add a node that would convert it back, and that would be the convert to file node. So enter convert to file. You would see the options. Just scroll down to move base 64 string to file, and you add it. So the input field is data. So remember to add the data. You can change this one now to attachment. And that would be all you need to do. You now click on execute. And we've gotten the attachment here. The next node you have to add is to extract from file. Now that you have converted it to a file, you can now extract from it. Let's choose what we are choosing here is text file. Extract from text file. So what we have as the input is the attachment, right? So we'll now say attachment, and the destination output is the data. We want to convert it back to data. It's a text file now, so it's no longer a CSV. Can I execute? And you see it has already extracted all the details that are in that. Our CSV turns to text file now. So I like to make space, or should I say make room, in my environment. I don't want to have this whole thing clustered up. The next you have to add now is your Google Gemini. So let's find that Google Gemini. Your search would be, what you're searching for will be Google. Anyway, you see it, sure. Google Gemini chat model. That's what we are going with. So credential to connect. You would not see this here. I mean, if you're setting up Google Gemini for the first time, you would not see this here. So you would have to create a new credential. Click on create new credential. You insert your API key. The API key you copied back then. That's not all. After you insert your API key, you ensure that you've done all those instructions I mentioned earlier about setting up your account. And if you have done it, you connect. Once you connect, you come over here, you select Gemini 2.5 Flash, and that would be all for Google Gemini. The next would be setting up the basic LLM chain, but we will not be needing this chat message. So just delete it. When you delete it, you connect this one here. Now we are in the basic LLM chain. You click on open. We are not using the trigger node, so just you define the prompt. I will just paste this in here. It's not long. I mean, it's not lengthy. No, we be set it to expression. Then you paste this in here. What we are doing is we are telling it, read and clean this raw CSV data. And that's the JSON.data that you map it in, right? Let me just map it in so you guys can see what I mean. Here. That's it. You map it in. That's what you do here. Then you scroll down. When you scroll down to here, you say add prompt, add your system. So you would have to specifically design some prompts, right? Some instructions on how you want your Gemini model to follow, how you want it to execute this whole thing for you. So I have some prompts that I've already written down. I'm going to show it, and also I will be adding it to my GitHub, and I'll also be sharing the GitHub link. So in case you guys just want to, just copy the whole thing and just paste it in. Yes. So let me quickly paste this here. My God. This is an expression. I believe this is an expression. So, I mean, it should work fine. Click on execute. It should probably take a lot of time. Let's wait for it to load. So this is the prompt that we are using for the system prompt. The role, where you define the role and you give the instructions. This one is more detailed than the initial prompt. And you specify the output format and what you want it to do. You give it an example output format. Then you insert the raw CSV data that is going to be working with. So let me just control this thing and copy it. Like I said, I'm adding it to my GitHub, so you can get the link from there and also copy paste it, or you can also look at it from this video and just add it there, whichever one. So I had to cut that short as I knew that the whole thing was going to take time, the whole LLM chain running. But when you check it now, you see that we have an output that is configured in this format, so we need to use our extract from file magic again to to fix it up. Then let's get to it. So let's add the set fields node. We'll use it to, it will act like a parser to remove all those extra backticks and those backticks that they gave us there that we don't need. So call it anything. I'll just give it cleaned thing. I'll add some complex dash. This is because I want to remove the backticks, and there is nothing much that I did here though. Just add what is this thing called again? Oh god. Anyway, yeah, curly brackets. Add curly brackets, and then is a test file, so you just add the JSON.text and replace the CSV, the new lines, replace it with this, replace it with this. That's what we are doing here. That's all you have to do. So you click on execute, and so now we have this. It's clean, and when you check it on your JSON, you have something that you can, something that's reasonable, So now the next thing will now be sending email notifications, right? So I could want to spice it up a little bit. That's what I did in my initial application that I built. I did convert to CSV, and I had to run off real quick to go and get this my code that I did, because I wanted the output to be with an underscore clean.csv. So that was for the finding, but this is optional. This is completely optional. You don't need to do it, but if you want to do it, all I did was I set this to expression, and then I added this code. I got this code from my webhook, the webhook here. So I just went to the webhook, went straight to where the name of the fields, where the file, you see where they say name, copied it. When I copied it, then I added the dot replace CSV and concatenated it with the new name that I wanted it to answer, which is underscore clean.csv. So we have messy HR data underscore clean.csv. That's what I'm, but this is optional. The main thing you need to do here is to just click on the convert to file and set the name, which is your data, and execute. That's the main thing that we are doing here. And that's it. You have a binary that you have that you can, now this binary you can now send it as a mail to the user. Send email notification to the sender, the person that gave us this stuff. So send a message, connect your Google email credential. I already did that, so that's why you're seeing this. But for you, you need to, it will prompt you to sign into Google. And of course, if you've already done what I showed earlier for API integrations, you are good to go. So for the mail, you can use anyone. We've extracted this email before. We use the edit fields. You can just quickly come over here. This is the mail of the person. So that's an automatic stuff, yeah. So receive your cleaned data sets. We use HTML in this case. Nothing much. Oh, sorry, this should be in expression. Not stress my life. Okay, so this is expression. You say hello, Find attached in this email your clean data set just using paragraph tags here. Kind regards, then use the break tag and add your name. So when you come to the option, there are some things you need to add in the option. First of all, this append N8N attribution. Well, we don't want N8N to be adding all those there automatically send with anything, blah, blah, blah. Let's just turn it off. And the next option you add is you attachment, because this is the attachment that you will be using. The attachment would be the data field name. That will be the binary field property that we are using. So this binary, this is the one we are using. So you click on execute. That should get it set. So you see it has already run successfully. When you go and check email, you will see that you've already gotten a mail. I forgot to mention this earlier, but you should create a Google Sheet account. It's optional though, but you should. If you want to, you can, just to follow along with what I'm doing here. You should get you a Google Sheet account. You just create a sheet. And I hope you also enabled the Google Sheet API in the console.cloud.google and add the email column, find them column, timestamp, and that will be all for the Google Sheet section. You need to link Google Sheets. So I don't know how we'll go on this thing. Should be here. You now add Google Sheets. Well, we want it to add, append, or update row in Sheets. So we select append or update row. Let's go back. Something I need to be sure I'm doing. Yes, it's from the same. Now I want to be sure that it's from the same source. As usual, you connect your Google Sheet credential. Let's see. You sign in and it will give you a list of options to choose from. So if you've already created your Google Sheet, here my Google Sheet is data cleaner records and it's from sheet 1. I'll say again. Okay. Column to match on. Since we are also doing updates, so I'm sure you need something that you can use as a fallback. So let you use this one as a fallback. Email, let's head over to your schema where you have access to all the, let's say, what am I doing? So you add the email, the file name. Is it the file name that I'm getting here, or am I going to be getting the URL? Okay, let me go to the webhook. The webhook has the file name directly that I can just copy. So let me copy the file name from here directly. Don't want link because that set node there, it's giving me link. So here we have the file name. So to get the timestamp, just scroll down to the noun. See the noun that is in variables and context. Select it, and that will be all. Everything has already been fixed, and if you've set up your credentials, you click on execute step. And that's it. It has already been attributed for you in your Google Sheet. So you can go over there to check. And when you head over here, you see your workflow is already set. You've already created your data cleaning agent. You can also click on save. And also, after you finish executing your workflow, you can come over here and what's that? Download. Yes, you can download I think I've already downloaded this. You can download your workflow so you can have it with you, right? You can import it wherever and whenever you need. You open the webhook URL. If you want it to be, you now want it to be like you want to set it to be running, you head to the production URL. You copy it. After you copy the production URL, you now head back to your tally forms that you have already created. you go back there and update that URL. So when you get to this place, you go to the edit. This is the one I'm using for this. So you edit it, you erase it, and this is the one for production. So when you set it for production, you must note that once anybody fills the form, it will run automatically. After you set it, you need to activate the workflow. So you click on that tab and to ask you to activate. You can ignore all these checklists. We're just running this as a test, right? So when you activate it, in any time anyone fills the form, just know that it will be running in the executions tab, right? It will not be running on this editor. So whenever someone fills the form, since we've already set it to production, it will now start executing here. Like, this editor will just be on its own, right? This is where we are running the test. So to see that, you go to the executions tab. When you head to the executions tab, that's where it will now be running. And when it's done running, we're trying to do standardization. So of course, other factors and other latencies making Google Gemini take time. So by the time it's done running, you would get that's how it will now be running from time to time. And now it's done, completed in 3 minutes and 13 seconds, and everything has already been done, right? So when we go to check our mails and our Google Sheets, you'll see all those details have already been added for us. So that's the new N3. This was the old N3. You can see the dates. And when you check your mail, receive your clean data sets. So receive the mail, and the file came in the format that we specified, message_r underscore clean.csv. So you can download, just do whatever you want to do with it, and that's it.